This is going to be episode number 24 on the Harley Wishbone Frame Build. And as you can see, we are on air. And as you can see, this is temporarily sidetracked from building a frame back to how to build a fitting and welding fixture to build a wishbone frame. The last video, I had just gotten started building this thing and I've made some progress. And so while I haven't done anything with the frame, I have made progress on this fixture, and I'll kind of go through what I'm doing right now. So as you can see, this piece was the one that came from the 1927 Buick frame. And then I had that plate fitted so that it would pivot. This thing swivels. The standard cone setup for the neck. You know, that thing is adjustable up and down. I looked all over for some heavy duty right angle pieces to keep this thing from moving left and right and forward and backward. What you can't see in here, there is this 3-inch tube, which is 250 wall, passes, other side, a little bit better, passes through the horizontal tube, and then there's a pin in there. Well, that's not that, that's the bolt, but there's a pin that passes through there that holds that in alignment. On eBay, I found these really cool old machinist right angle plates. These are another relic of Cleveland's industrial past. So I was able to get a pair of these left and right, and then I had holes drilled so that they matched perfectly, and now the way this thing goes together, there's a long bolt that ties the two together to the tube, and then these bolts here. You can kind of see. So I got that done. Now, don't panic. I'm not going to use wood to set the hole locations and height for the motor mock-up plate, but we're part of the way through the machining on that, and I decided to make a wood prototype to get it fitted in to kind of see if we wanted to do any additional trimming or if there was any control we wanted to do. So that thing, I just got that thing done. That thing fits in there like that. But the idea is that there will be side plates that are going to bolt to the block. These side plates are going to go all the way down and sit on here, and that will locate the motor mounting planes exactly where they need to be. Now, one of the things that I've had to deal with is that the tubing part of the project is all on the center line, and the goal has been that the frame is on the center line, but in terms of the motor center line, it is actually offset a 1/2 inch off to one side. So that pencil mark basically represents the center of the seat post tube. So what's going to happen is, and it's 2 inches to that. These holes are on 3.5 inch center. It's 2 inches from one direction and 1.5 inches on the other. So that's what the dimensional difference is. So that 1/2 inch dimension is going to mean that this plate is going to be out a 1/2 inch, and then when I make this other plate that's coming up on the other side, I don't have a piece in there now, that will have a 1/2-inch plate spacer at the top. This one will have it at the bottom, and that way the center line of the frame and the center line of the motor are in the proper orientation to each other. This is the aluminum plate fixture that I used in the early development of the frame. I think what I'm going to do, this old tube, which was once part of my motorcycle trailer, I think what I'm going to do is add a piece on the end to get out to this dimension, because what I found is when we put this together, I had a little bit of flex in this plate, and what I want to do is bring the tube out and then put a spacer underneath it so that this thing is not allowed to move vertically when a frame is going together. I do think, now that I've fiddled with this, I think what I'm going to do is add another hole up in here someplace, probably up 2 inches. And what that'll do, that'll move the frame forward on the fixture. So the neck will be a little bit closer up in here, and I still think there'll be plenty of room for welding. I'm still fiddling with locating these. Originally, when I cut these things to length, that width from here to here is the same width as this table from here to here. Those of you who follow my Nomad build, you'll recognize this as a Nomad lift gate, which I'm getting ready to crate up and send out to Oregon to get that thing straightened. So anyway, this is a heavy duty table workbench, but this thing is really heavy. Again, 3-inch by 3-inch, 250 wall tubes. I have these things. I built this thing quite a while ago. I got those details on there for a little bit added stability. So anyway, I'm going to keep moving on the frame building fixture. We got to go ahead and put the holes in the steel block. I'm not sure yet if the holes in here are going to be drilled and tapped or if they're going to be through holes, and then just a long bolt would secure that to each other. So I kind of have to make that decision and then order some 1/2-inch material excuse me, to make those side plates. But we're getting there. So there you have it. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so yet and want to see further content. Thanks.